In this episode, let us ask a basic question. Why does antitrust law exist at all? As Eleanor Fox explains in the opening chapter of Antitrust in Global Context, the economic answer begins with a market failure, monopoly. When one firm or a small group of firms can control a market, prices may rise, output may fall, and the market may produce less than it should. In economic terms, monopoly tends to shrink consumer surplus, while transferring part of that value to the monopolist and destroying another part altogether through deadweight loss. And the harm is not only about price. Competition authorities and international guidance also stress that monopoly power can reduce quality, variety, and innovation, which means that products may offer less value to consumers over time. That is why antitrust law has always been closely tied to economics. Its concern is not that firms become successful. Its concern is that market power may become so strong that the market stops working as a competitive process. In modern antitrust, the law usually does not prohibit monopoly in itself. In the United States, the focus is on monopolization, acquiring or maintaining monopoly power through improper conduct. The Federal Trade Commission puts it clearly. It is not illegal simply to have a monopoly. What is illegal is to maintain or acquire that position through unreasonable methods. In Europe, the same idea evolved into a different legal formula. Not dominance as such, but abuse of a dominant position. The European Commission explains that Article 102 of the Treaty on the Functioning of the European Union prohibits abusive conduct by companies that hold a dominant position on a market, not dominance by itself. And this evolution has not been limited to Europe. It has become the dominant model in much of the world, including Colombia and much of Latin America, where abuse of dominance rules are a standard part of modern competition law. The second great target of antitrust is the cartel. Economically, a cartel is dangerous because it allows several firms in an oligopoly to behave like a single monopolist. Instead of competing, they coordinate. They may fix prices, divide markets, limit output, or rig bids. The result is the same basic harm: less rivalry and more power over the market. In that sense, a cartel is an oligopoly acting like a monopoly. So, the economics of antitrust can be stated in one line. Competition is the cure for monopoly power, and antitrust is the law that protects that cure. It tries to keep markets open, prevent firms from using power to exclude rivals, and stop competitors from coordinating in ways that replace rivalry with collective control. That is why antitrust law, in economic terms, is really a law of market correction. It steps in when private power threatens to distort the competitive process. One firm may dominate alone, or several firms may coordinate together, but in both cases the danger is the same. The market begins to behave less like a competitive market and more like a monopoly.